rational. Josiah, turn. When we are dealing with decimals, it is extremely important, just like we did in 1 and 2, we even need to be more precise. Attend to precision means to pay really, really close attention. When you're adding and subtracting decimals, you're thinking of good versus bad guys. So adding and subtracting, we're thinking good versus bad guys. That's the first thing you're paying attention to. Second thing is you're building a snowman and being really precise with your decimal. Example number 1. We're starting out pretty simple. I'm well aware that some of you can do this mentally. I want you to set it up so you have just a real nice solid place to start. Can I combine the 3.6 and the 2.1?
Yes.
Why, Josiah?
They both have an R.
And what is the R? I'm going to push your vocab. Is it a
It's
constant
a
or a?
variable.
It's a variable. So we can combine them because they both have an R. They're a different number, but that's okay. All we need is the same exact letter. So let's make a snowman. 3.6R minus 2.1R. Carry the decimal, and you could probably do that mentally. One of the easier problems you'll ever see. 1.5R. You have to what?
Minus it.
Yeah, it's a subtraction. It says 3.6 minus 2.1. Be precise with your signs.
We can't just do
Thanks for bringing that up, Hendrix, because you'll see that a lot today. They're the same thing. A subtraction symbol is the same thing as a minus sign. It's back and forth. It makes it a bad guy.
Well, no, I mean,
So this is 3.6 minus 2.1 is the same thing as a good guy 3.6 and a negative bad guy 2.1. It's the same thing. Because this guy doesn't have a negative in front of it, and this guy does have a negative, it's a good guy versus a bad guy. They're the same thing. Does that make kind of a little bit of sense? It's a common blunder and confusion in 7th grade. I'll try to find a better way to explain it. I just need to think about it this weekend. Okay. Yeah, Josiah.
So if there's like a number with the letter, right? And then there's just a regular number and another number with the letter. You add the two letters together.
You
right?
got it.
And then, but do you add them or subtract them?
It depends on the sign. It depends on what's in front of it. This is a great example, Hendrix and Josiah, because we have a negative 7.015 and a positive 9.9. So I can't combine anything with 6.3. That's the only variable. Let's just bring that down. The thing that gets tricky is my constants. Write this to the side. What is happening with 9.9 and 7? They're fighting, they're not banding. Because this guy has a negative and that's positive, they are fighting. I have to pay attention to what's actually going to win because that's the number that I start with. Does the 9 win or the 7 win? The 9, it's a good guy. The bad guy is less, the good guy is more. So let's put the minus 7.015 below it. Because the 9 is bigger, I know it's listed second and everything in me wants to do this. But you can't do that because the 9 is bigger. I'm taking away 7 from 9. Cool. Yeah.
I looked at it as 6.3x minus 7 that plus 9.9. So what I did is I added the 9.9 and the 7.0 together, and then I just brought down the 6.3x, and then I made the problem with that.
Thanks for bringing that up. Did you add 7 and 9?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
And then I made a problem.
Yeah, you can't have minus, that'd be 16. I can't do that. Because the negative sign is actually a bad guy, it's not adding. They're fighting. You're looking at it as 3 separate numbers. So that's why I want you to actually underline the whole thing. Underline all the way to the negative, or even box the negative. Then rewrite it. Okay,
Yeah,
board of paper. We'll have more time to practice this today and Monday. Let's subtract this one. 0 can't subtract 5. 0 can't subtract a 1. Let's borrow. I'm going to borrow 1 from the 8. Bring down the 1, or 1 from the 9. I can't subtract again. 0 minus 5 still doesn't work. Let's borrow 1 from that 10 I just made. Take it away, put a 9, and now I have 10 minus 5. That does work. It's 5. 9 minus 1 is 8. 8 minus 0 is 8. 9 minus 7 is 2. Build your snowman. Is this a good guy or a bad guy when I place it here? Be really careful. Hendrix, what do you think?
Good guy.
Why is it good? Which one's bigger, Tatum? The good guy is 9. The bad guy is 7. So 9 versus 7 would have a 9 win. When it gets decimal numbers, it's a little bit trickier. Just look at the number to the left of the decimal. That usually tells you the right step. Last example. We have 4 different terms. Let's look at the n. What do I see as another n value other than 5.2? What's another n that I see, Hendrix? It's just n. So let's think about the n. If you have just an n or just an x, you are able to write it as plus 1n. Write that below it. Mathematicians like to take out the 1 because it's more efficient and maybe they're lazy. You as a 7th grade mathematician, I'm okay with you writing the 1 in front of any variable that's by itself. That makes it easier to see. Go ahead and do that if that helps you. Let's do plus 7.5 in between. I'm just going to rewrite the whole thing with a 1n because it's easier for me to see it. Okay. When you're here, Sunny, what can I combine with 5.2? What can I combine with a 5.2? What's another n? I know you're gone for a few days, but I think you can get it. Could I combine this with a 7? They're different, so I can't. Could I combine it with a 1? Yeah, because they both have n's. 5.2 plus 1.0 is 6.2. Combine them, put 6.2. What else can I combine, Lily? And they're both good guys, so this problem is actually pretty easy because everything's a positive. It makes it really easy to be precise. 15.2. Can I combine 15.2 with 6.2?
No.
Why not, Hendrix?
Yes.
Could I combine those two?
No.
John is a different term. These are like apples and pineapples. Remember from yesterday, that weird picture? You can't combine it. You have to leave it like that. Everything in me wants to make it a nice answer with just one number. You can't. That is not algebraically correct. Algebraically is a cool word, and I keep saying it because it makes me look smart. It just means you're dealing with numbers and variables. I know. Thanks.